Thank you everyone for joining. We're going to give a few more minutes so people can log in. Thank you. For those who are joining our meeting, we'll be starting in a few minutes. Thank you. Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for joining the State Road 9 I-95 northbound exit ramp to State Road 820 Hollywood Boulevard Widening Improvements Project. Today's virtual public meeting. We're currently on slide 1. Today is Monday, November 1st, 2021. I want to go ahead and ask if there are any elected officials on the line. If you are, please type your name in the chat box or raise your hand and we can go ahead and announce your presence. Oh, we have Mayor Levy on here. Mayor Levy, I'm going to go ahead and unmute you if you'd like to say a few words.
Hey everybody. Hey Rebecca. How are you?
Hi, how are you?
Great to see you, and it's great to have another Florida Department of Transportation project here happening in the city of Hollywood. This one is much welcomed and much needed for these improvements to the vicinity of Hollywood Boulevard and I-95 here. So looking forward to the presentation, and thank you so much.
Anytime, thank you. All right. All right, so we're going to go ahead and start the presentation. So moving on to slide 2. My name is Rebecca Guerrero, and I am the Community Outreach Specialist for the project. I will be the moderator and presenter for today's meeting. Today's meeting format, a brief presentation followed by a question and answer session will be held from 5:30 to 6, and again from 6 to 6:30. Please note questions and comments can be submitted via the online chat for the project team to address directly. And if time allows, we'll have an unguided PowerPoint slideshow play. Moving on to slide 3, the Title VI of the Civil Rights Act of 1964. The Florida Department of Transportation is required to comply with various non-discrimination laws and regulations, including the Title VI of the Civil Rights Act of 1964. Public participation is solicited without regard to race, color, national origin, age, sex, religion, disability, or family status. Persons wishing to express concerns about Title VI may do so by contacting either the District 4 Title VI Coordinator, Sharon, or the statewide Title VI Coordinator, Jacqueline Paramore. All inquiries or concerns will be handled according to FDOT procedure and in a prompt and courteous manner. Moving on to slide 4. All attendees will remain muted throughout the meeting. Attendees are welcome to submit questions or comments using the GoToWebinar control panel at any time. A member of the team will respond during the question and answer session. This virtual public meeting is being recorded and it will be available afterwards on the project website, as well as submitted via email to all registrants. Slide 5. For online participants, the GoToWebinar control panel should be visible on the upper right corner of your computer screen. The red arrow points to the question box. You can type a comment or question into the question box, then click send to submit your comment or question to staff. The blue arrow points to the hand raised icon, which will inform the team that you would like to speak or ask your questions verbally. Once the presentation has been completed, we will go ahead and unmute you and you can voice your concern. Slide 6. Dialed-in attendees are in listen-only mode and will not have the option to speak. If you have any technical difficulties throughout our virtual public meeting tonight, you can contact the GoToWebinar support at 833-851-8340. Moving on to slide 7, the project team. So presenting along myself, we have Yasser Santos. He's the construction project manager with FDOT District 4 Broward Operations. We have Christopher Komprosky. He's the construction project administrator out of FDOT D4 Broward Operations as well. We have Alejandro Uribe. He's the engineer of record and designer with Gannett Fleming. And we have Kenzo Jasmine, who's with FDOT District 4 Design as well. Moving on to slide 8, please enjoy the project video, which includes information on the improvements to be completed, along with the road and lane closure information. We will start the question and answer session after the video.
Slide 9. Hello, my name is Yasser Santos from the Florida Department of Transportation. I am the construction project manager. The purpose of this project is to improve safety and enhance mobility. The length is a quarter-mile long. Contractor is AUM Construction Inc. Construction starts November 8, 2021. Estimated contract cost is $1,096,096. Contract time is 217 calendar days, which are not including weather days and holidays. And estimated completion is summer 2022. Slide 10. The purpose of this project is widening the northbound exit ramp to Hollywood Boulevard to accommodate a designated right turn lane, extending the left turn lane on Hollywood Boulevard to South 28th Avenue to increase vehicle storage capacity, upgrading signalization at the intersection of Hollywood Boulevard and I-95, and upgrading sidewalk and curb ramps to meet Americans with Disabilities Act ADA requirements.
My name is Chris Komprosky. I'm with the FDOT Broward Operations. I'm the project administrator. This is slide 11, and here we'll focus on an aerial image of the I-95 northbound exit ramp. And here we'll be performing the widening to incorporate a dedicated right-hand turn lane. And in addition to that, we'll be milling and resurfacing South 29th Terrace, as noticed on the left-hand side of the screen. Also, we'll be reconstructing the sidewalk in the area at the intersection of Hollywood Boulevard and I-95 northbound exit ramp, and installing new detectable warnings to improve the ADA accessibility in the area, and performing some asphalt removal and sod replacement. Slide 12. This is at the intersection of Hollywood Boulevard and the I-95 northbound exit ramp, where you're going to be milling and resurfacing the intersection as well as the eastbound lanes. Also, you'll notice that we're putting in new pavement markers, and we're installing new mast arms at the southeast corner to improve the signalization. Additionally, at the northwest corner, we're installing new mast arms as well as reconstructing the curb ramp at that location. Slide 13. Here we have another aerial of the intersection of Hollywood Boulevard and South 28th Avenue. This area we're focusing on milling and resurfacing the eastbound lanes as well as performing cross slope correction. In the left turn lane at the intersection of South 20th Avenue, we'll be widening the left turn lane into the median to increase storage capacity for that movement. Slide 14, typical section for I-95 northbound off-ramp. Here we'll focus on the two left turn lanes as well as the two right turn lanes, which is going to be the improvements after construction is completed. Slide 15, this is a typical section for eastbound Hollywood Boulevard, and the focus is in the left turn lane at South 20th Avenue, where we'll be widening into the median to increase storage capacity.
Slide 16, maintenance of traffic. Public safety is our top priority. Advanced warning and project signage will be placed throughout the construction corridor. Lighted message boards will be located at the northern and southern project limits. Ongoing coordination with local agencies and businesses to ensure bus route accessibility and access at all times. Some of these agencies will be Broward County Traffic Engineering Division, Broward County Transit, the City of Hollywood, first responders, and Broward County Schools. Slide 17, maintenance of traffic continued. Single lane closures along State Road 820 Hollywood Boulevard and the I-95 northbound exit ramp are permitted between 10 p.m. and 7 a.m. weekdays and weekends. Full ramp closures of the I-95 northbound exit ramp are permitted overnight, Sunday through Thursday, between 10 p.m. and 6 a.m. for asphalt paving operations. Additional information about lane closures and detours will be provided in the weekly traffic report distributed by FDOT. Slide 18, community outreach. To obtain more information on the project, you can visit the project website, which is located at www.d4fdot.com. We also have a weekly lane closure press release that's sent every Friday afternoon that's going to have the lane closures for this project and all lane closures for Broward County. And to receive that, please contact me, Rebecca Guerrero, at 954-940-7605 or via email at rguerrero@coordino.com. Okay, we're currently On slide 19, I'd like to ask that the project team turn on their cameras as well. If you'd like to voice your questions or ask your questions live, you can click the hand raised icon so we can go ahead and mute you. And yeah, we're here to answer your questions. All right, we have a hand raised. Okay. You can go ahead and speak. Hello.
Hello?
Hi.
Hey there, Patricia Hentrikin. What is going to happen to all the plants that are in the medium now? There's some very large tree palms in there.
I can go ahead and direct this question to Chris, our project administrator.
Just unmuted myself. Hopefully everybody can hear me. Patricia,
Yes.
thank you for your question. So where we're widening into the median, actually that is the location where City of Hollywood already performed some irrigation, meaning that they capped the utility within the area. So that location's already been replaced with sod. I believe there was bushes there beforehand, but that's already been removed and sodded over. And that's primarily going to be the area that we're widening. We're widening into the median. As far as like, you know, any other vegetation in the area, trees and things like of that sort, we don't have it called out in the median to have anything significant there to be removed.
Thank
Hopefully
you.
that addresses your question.
Okay. Anybody else? Mayor Levy, we'll go ahead and unmute you.
Question regarding the work schedule. You showed a slide that indicated that any lane closures would be after 10 p.m. And through the night, which makes total sense to not interfere with the heavy daytime traffic there. What though then is the work schedule during daytime, during the daytime hours? Is there no work to be done, or is this a full, 10 p.m. to 6, 7 a.m. for that project?
So prior to construction, they do have to submit what they call a work schedule and a 2-week look ahead. So I'll go ahead and direct that to Komprosky, which is who the contractor would submit it to. Chris?
Good question. Yeah, Rebecca, that makes perfect sense. The contractor is to, notify us ahead of time when they're going to be working, obviously on the field. That's provided in their CPM schedule, also their controlling items of work. And in addition to that, we have a 3-week look ahead schedule. We'll be informed when they're going to be working. That being said, they have to stick to the hours that you've seen in this presentation between 10 p.m. and 7 a.m. when they're going to be physically closing lanes. So that's primarily where the focus of the construction is going to take place, is between those hours of operation, which is non-peak hours. However, the contractor does have, the option to go out there and work outside of those hours, but they won't be closing lanes outside those hours. So for example, if they needed to locate some utilities in the area by doing ground penetrating radar, they could, do that during the day in the shoulder outside of the roadway. But they would need to obtain approval from us prior to doing that. And we would also include that shoulder work, if you will, in our traffic impacts report.
Great, that's very helpful to know. So the gist of it is that any lane closures are planned to be at night, barring any special circumstance that FDOT would approve a lane closure during the day. You could see work activity during the day, but it won't result in a lane closure unless a circumstance that FDOT approved required it.
Correct.
Kenzo, it's good to see you again.
Good morning, good evening, Mayor. Becky, I would like to emphasize on the fact that we at the project level can always speak to the contractor. I know there are some operations right there, such as drill shaft installation, that we might need to close some right turns eventually, perhaps during the day. But it is our intent to keep, all the stakeholders informed if we need to, be abiding by those lane closures at any point. So we'll definitely keep everyone informed, and it's something that we still need to check with the contractor. most likely there will be a chance that those right turn lanes might need to be closed during daytime, but
I
no
got you.
peak hours.
I got
Thank
you.
you, sir.
Another question, if I may, the new mast arms that you'll be installing is obviously an upgrade. I just wonder if those mast arms, and if the project team here might know, we always endeavor to have better synchronized, traffic signals. And while this is just two mast arms out of a, let's just call it a 7-point type rotating traffic signal system, when you consider the off ramps from 95 and Hollywood Boulevard East and West, is there anything that's upgrading the, let's just call it the technology in the traffic signal system here that would help introduce a more computerized, managed traffic signal rotation around this this intersection, more so than it is today? Or is it just same guts being put into a new pole?
So that I'm understanding, Mayor Levy. So what you're asking is if we're putting any of the new ITS components?
If that's the technical term, Rebecca, I just wonder if there's going to be an upgrade to FDOT's, computerization opportunity of this turn signal here, and its ability to, more in-time demand type alteration of the signals versus
Gotcha.
what there might be today, which is, a rotation of signals, according to the seconds and minutes of each signal sequence.
Gotcha. Chris or maybe Alejandro, is that a question you guys would like to answer?
I mean, I could chime in here. I don't have that level of expertise in traffic engineering to exactly explain kind of like the planning that's going into place in traffic operations and under TSM&O. And what you're asking, it kind of sounds to me like you're asking, is there going to be like adaptive signaling put into place where, the subsequent intersections within the corridor, are they going to recognize, when there's a lot of vehicle throughput, and what can the signals be done to optimize the vehicle throughput? I personally haven't encountered anything as part of the project documentation to say that we're doing that as part of this new signal. But there could be something in the pipeline that, again, traffic operations or TSM&O would be better equipped to answer for us. And I could be off base here. I mean, Alejandro, I don't know if you want to chime in, and maybe they communicated that to you guys, or maybe I'll kind of pass it over to you and let you take it away from there.
Yes, I can. So essentially, I mean, we're proposing the latest equipment requirements from Broward County Traffic Engineering Department, which are the ones maintaining and programming all the signals. So we provide the equipment and the details for installing that equipment. Then the programming and operation of the signals after construction is taken over by Broward County Traffic, essentially. So we're not proposing anything beyond what's the standard requirement for Broward County Traffic.
All right, well, look, the only thing I would say is, and I understand, and I'm happy about this project coming on board and for you all to be doing what you're doing in the widening operations for the obvious safety and traffic flow benefits that it's going to bring. So very happy to see the project. My only request would be that if you have an opportunity to work with your counterparts, either FDOT or Broward, and say, hey, we're working underground, we're putting new mast arms here. Is there anything for a future adaptive system that you'd need? You need us to put in a conduit? Do you need us to, how do we lay the groundwork in a very simple way so that, one day comes when we put adaptive signalization here in this intersection, that at least for this segment of the roadway, or these two mast arms, the groundwork is already in place to where it's a lot easier and less expensive, less intrusive of an opportunity, in the future to put in the adaptive signalization, let's call it box or wires or systems. That's all. If we can prep it, then great. But I understand this is already let, and that's fine. But again, if it's simple to do, then perhaps we can make things easier for the future. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Azita, I thought I saw your hand raised for a second. Rick, have any questions for us?
There are a few questions in the chat, Becky.
Oh, Rick just raised his hand. Rick, I went ahead and unmuted you. You can go ahead and unmute yourself.
I'll do that again. Thank you, Becky. I was just going to tell you, no, I don't have any questions, but back to Mayor Levy's issue. After they add, they're going to make some capacity improvements here. Once that's been done, the county will definitely come back and do some retiming in the interchange. The Traffic Operations Office has a longer range plan to do kind of the acronym that Chris mentioned, Transportation Systems Management and Operations Project, from all the way out in Pembroke Pines, probably all the way down to Young Circle, eventually have some adaptive control and better software. But as long as we have a railroad crossing there, preemption, we're going to have some congestion, as you know. But anyways, no, I think this is a good project, and we look forward to having you guys be our neighbors again.
Thanks, Rick.
Thank you.
Okay. Somebody else raised your hand. Rick, you raised your hand again or no? Okay, just kidding. Let's see. Another question we have is, will there be noise impacts to the public? Chris, Yasser, Alejandro?
I can answer that one.
So I'll let you take it, Yasser.
Thank you for that question. Very, very good one indeed. So basically, we restricted the operations to happen most of those to nighttime. The operations are pretty much we're gonna be managed within our right of way, where we are gonna control the noise pretty much. It's milling and resurfacing operations happening nighttime. So we will take care of building this project, trying to pretty much control the noise as well as we can. So it's restricting all the majority of the operations to nighttime in the area. They are not, it's mostly a commercial area. So we took that into account, where we kind of like pass all the operations to happen nighttime as well.
Thank you, Yasser. Another one we have is, will there be a U-turn sign at the signal of Hollywood and South 28th Avenue? If Alejandro or Chris want to reply.
I could jump in. I would like to give some other folks, some speaking time as well, but I'll jump in, not a problem. So as far as the U-turn question, we don't currently have that part of our scope of work. So we're not including that U-turn sign at the intersection of South 20th Avenue and Hollywood Boulevard. And the primary focus of this project is to extend the left turn lane at that intersection to increase storage capacity. And one of the main reasons that we're doing that is based on a safety study that was done either 2016 and 2017 that found that there was X amount of rear end crashes in the area, and extending the turn lane to increase storage capacity is a crash modification factor that would inevitably reduce rear end crashes. So that's kind of like the focus, and right now we don't have anything regarding the U-turn sign, but if that changes, we'll be sure to notify the public and let everybody know as our scope updates.
Thanks, Komprowski. I think Rick raised his hand again. You're unmuted if you want to talk, Rick.
Yeah, I just wanted to say that there's no guarantee that this will happen, but the city's Design and Construction Management Office has produced some concepts to do some work around this area, 28th Avenue all the way into 26th Avenue, which is in the center of City Hall Circle. And there's a chance that there may be some lane use changes, which could possibly create like a double right turn lane if you're going south on 28th and you want to go toward I-95, because it's a very heavy movement, not a whole lot of storage. And they're looking at some relatively minor geometric modifications to do that. But if that's done, we're probably not going to want to let the U-turn be performed any longer. There'll be, cars in the way. So there may be some changes in the future, but as the guys from the project said, there's really no justification to do it now. If it becomes a problem after the fact, that could be done by their traffic office in the future. If you want to ask me to call them about it, I will. That's about it.
Thanks, Rick.
Sure.
Rebecca, if I may, just to follow up to Rick, just a follow-up question: is that a dual ride going south on 28?
Yeah, well, we haven't finalized the concepts, and this is, like I said, not in stone or on plans yet. But I think that the center lane would become an optional, a through left, and then the other will be a through right, exclusive right, a through right, and a left turn lane. I think is what we're looking at on the southbound side. We were really hoping that we could eliminate the split phasing northbound and southbound because it just really kills any kind of progression on Hollywood Boulevard. But we don't own the IHOP, so we can't do that.
Okay.
But this is in the relatively distant future, Kenzo. So I wouldn't really put a whole lot of stock in it. But that's something that's under consideration just for whoever asked the question, and really about the turn restriction.
Okay, that's good. As you know, I was just asking the question because I'm working on the 95 BD&E, and if there's gonna be some changes on 28, just want to be aware of it so I can coordinate.
No, we'll make sure that you're kept in the loop as it tightens.
All right, thank you.
All right, sure.
All right, thanks, Rick. So we've reached 6 o'clock. So we're gonna move forward. If nobody else has any questions, last call. Okay, so moving on to slide 20. So throughout the project, questions or comments can be submitted via email or phone to myself, the Community Outreach Specialist, like I said, Rebecca Guerrero. My email is rguerrero@coordino.com, and my number is 954-940-7605. You can also contact the construction project manager, Christopher Komprosky. His email is christopher.komprosky@fdot.state.fl.us. His phone number is 954-547-2807. And as well as the construction project manager, Yasser. His email is yasser.santos@fdot.state.fl.us. And his number is 954-495-5259. And this concludes, we're on slide 21. This concludes the first portion of our virtual public meeting. And we don't have time for the, yes?
I just wanted to ask on that last slide, it looks like the email extensions for the DOT employees now has an F in it. Is that accurate?
I just moved back at fdot.state.fl.us.
Well, it used to be at DOT, not FDOT. Is that something that's been changed?
I don't believe
No,
so.
actually, Rick, that's correct. It's at DOT, not FDOT.
You correct,
But
Rick.
it really should, in my opinion, it should be at FDOT, but no, it's DOT.
Well, then you could do away with FL at the end. But yeah, I thought maybe you guys really didn't want to be contacted by anybody, so I was just checking.
No, we'll make sure.
We're testing the audience.
Yeah, because I know Chris is on the witness protection program, so.
All right, let you said that. Now I have to relocate.
I have been defaulted.
Oh, sorry. I'll help you pack.
Thanks, Rick. Okay, so we're gonna start the presentation all over again. Thank you so much. Good evening, everyone. This is the second portion of the I-95 northbound exit ramp to State Road 820 Hollywood Boulevard Widening Improvements Project. Today is Monday, November 1st, 2021. We're currently on slide 1. I don't believe we have any new elected officials on the line. So moving on to slide 2, the virtual public meeting orientation. As I've mentioned, my name is Rebecca Guerrero. I am a community outreach specialist with the Corradino Group. I will be today's moderator and presenter. We're currently on the 6 p.m. to 6:30 p.m. question and answer session. Moving on to slide 3, the Title VI of the Civil Rights Act of 1964. The Florida Department of Transportation is required to comply with various non-discrimination laws and regulations, including the Title VI of the Civil Rights Act of 1964. Public participation is solicited without regard to race, color, national origin, age, sex, religion, disability, or family status. Persons wishing to express concerns about Title VI may do so by contacting either the District 4 Title VI Coordinator, Sharon, or the statewide Title VI Coordinator, Jacqueline. All inquiries or concerns will be handled according to FDOT procedure and in a prompt and courteous manner. Moving on to slide 4. All attendees will remain muted throughout the meeting. Attendees are welcome to submit questions or comments using the GoToWebinar control panel at any time. A member of the team will respond during the question and answer session. This virtual public meeting is being recorded and it will be available afterwards on the project website, as well as submitted via email to all registrants. Moving on to slide 5, the GoToWebinar control panel. For online participants, the control panel should be visible in the upper right corner of your screen. The red arrow points to the question box. You can type a comment or question into the question box, then click send to submit your comment to staff. The blue arrow points to the hand raised icon, which will inform the team that you'd like to ask your question or speak verbally. Once the presentation has been completed, we'll go ahead and unmute you so you can voice your concern. Moving on to slide 6. All attendees, all dial-in attendees are in listen-only mode and will not have the option to speak. If you experience any technical difficulties throughout the meeting, please contact the GoToWebinar support at 833-851-8340. Slide 7, the project team. So presenting along myself, we have Yasser Santos, the construction project manager with FDOT District 4 Broward Operations. We have Christopher Komprosky, the construction project administrator with FDOT District 4 Broward Operations. Alejandro Uribe, he's the engineer of record and designer from Gannett Fleming. And we have Kenzo Jasmine, who's with FDOT District 4 Design. Moving on to slide 8. Please enjoy the project video, which includes information on the improvements to be completed, along with the road and lane closure information. We will start the question and answer session after the video.
Slide 9. Hello, my name is Yasser Santos from the Florida Department of Transportation. I am the construction project manager. The purpose of this project is to improve safety and enhance mobility. The length is 1/4 mile long. Contractor is AUM Construction Inc. Construction start November 8, 2021. Estimated contract cost is $1,096,096. Contract time is 217 calendar days, which are not including weather days and holidays. An estimated completion is summer 2022. Slide 10. The purpose of this project is widening the northbound exit ramp to Hollywood Boulevard to accommodate a designated right turn lane, extending the left turn lane on Hollywood Boulevard to South 28th Avenue to increase vehicle storage capacity, upgrading signalization on the intersection of Hollywood Boulevard and I-95, and upgrading sidewalk and curb ramps to meet Americans with Disabilities Act ADA requirements.
My name is Chris Komprosky. I'm with the FDOT Broward Operations. I'm the project administrator. This is slide 11, and here we'll focus on an aerial image of the I-95 northbound exit ramp. And here we'll be performing the widening to incorporate a dedicated right-hand turn lane And in addition to that will be milling and resurfacing South 29th Terrace, as noticed on the left-hand side of the screen. Also, we'll be reconstructing the sidewalk in the area at the intersection of Hollywood Boulevard and I-95 northbound exit ramp, and installing new detectable warnings to improve the ADA accessibility in the area, and performing some asphalt removal and sod replacement. Slide 12. This is at the intersection of Hollywood Boulevard and the I-95 northbound exit ramp, where you're going to be milling and resurfacing the intersection as well as the eastbound lanes. Also, you'll notice that we're putting in new pavement markers and we're installing new mast arms at the southeast corner to improve the signalization. Additionally, at the northwest corner, we're installing new mast arms as well as reconstructing the curb ramp at that location. Slide 13. Here we have another aerial of the intersection of Hollywood Boulevard and South 28th Avenue. This area we're focusing on milling and resurfacing the eastbound lanes as well as performing cross slope correction. In the left turn lane at the intersection of South 20th Avenue, we'll be widening the left turn lane into the median to increase storage capacity for that movement. Slide 14, typical section for I-95 northbound off-ramp. Here we'll focus on the two left turn lanes as well as the two right turn lanes, which is going to be the improvements after construction is completed. Slide 15, this is a typical section for eastbound Hollywood Boulevard, and the focus is in the left turn lane at South 20th Avenue, where we'll be widening into the median to increase storage capacity.
Slide 16, maintenance of traffic. Public safety is our top priority. Advanced warning and project signage will be placed throughout the construction corridor. Lighted message boards will be located at the northern and southern project limits. Ongoing coordination with local agencies and businesses to ensure bus route accessibility and access at all times. Some of these agencies will be Broward County Traffic Engineering Division, Broward County Transit, the City of Hollywood, first responders, and Broward County Schools. Slide 17, maintenance of traffic continued. Single lane closures along State Road 820 Hollywood Boulevard and the I-95 northbound exit ramp are permitted between 10 p.m. and 7 a.m. weekdays and weekends. Full ramp closures of the I-95 northbound exit ramp are permitted overnight, Sunday through Thursday, between 10 p.m. and 6 a.m. for asphalt paving operations. Additional information about lane closures and detours will be provided in the weekly traffic report distributed by FDOT. Slide 18, community outreach. To obtain more information on the project, you can visit the project website, which is located at www.d4fdot.com. We also have a weekly lane closure press release that's sent every Friday afternoon that's going to have the lane closures for this project and all lane closures for Broward County. And to receive that, please contact me, Rebecca Guerrero, at 954-940-7605 or via email at rguerrero@cordinos.com. We're currently on slide 19, the second portion for questions and comments. If you'd like to voice your concerns or ask your questions live, you can go ahead and click the hand raised icon. You can also type your question into the question pane and click send. So I see here, how are impacts being minimized to the motorists traveling along I-95 and Hollywood Boulevard? Chris, I don't know if you want to go ahead. Yeah.
Like I said, I can jump in and take that question. So just to reiterate, how are impacts being minimized to the motorists traveling along I-95 and Hollywood Boulevard? So again, the operation for construction is going to be taking place between the temporary traffic control plan hours. That's from 10 p.m. till 7 a.m. And we intentionally set it up that way to perform construction during off-peak hours. So obviously that means that traffic in the areas would be in comparison relatively less than obviously on peak hours. And ideally the businesses during those hours are most of the businesses in the area are closed during that time of operation. So that should minimize the impacts to the public. Also, we'll have, you know, VCMS signs as well as PCMS signs notifying motorists that we're going to be, you know, performing construction in the field, and hopefully that will give them enough time to make arrangements to either, you know, detour around the construction area or avoid the construction area altogether. And, you know, we have our traffic impacts report that we send out to the public too. So there's various things that we do to notify the public, and we're going to be using all the resources at our disposal to notify everyone.
Well, to add to that, Chris, what we typically do is for the full ramp closures or even lane closures, we have the weekly traffic report, which we send out every Friday. I do send a separate report to the City of Hollywood for lane closures on Thursdays, since they are closed on Fridays. And in that, I have the first responders, I have the city elected officials, I have Rick on there, and as well as we send out a construction update as well to make sure everybody's notified. And for a full ramp closure, we'd actually go door to door as well and let the businesses know in the area. As you mentioned, some of the businesses are typically closed during our hours of operations, but nevertheless, we'd want to go out there and let them know about the work. Any other questions? So one here is, what activities will require the ramp to be fully closed?
I can respond to that, Becky.
Okay.
Okay, so basically mostly those are milling and resurfacing activities where we are taking out the existing asphalt, and we are doing improvements by placing a new layer of asphalt layer right there, and also applying the pavement marking, the new pavement markings. So that's mostly the operation that will require a lane closure, just because of the safety matter or component of it. So it's safer for the traveling public and for the workers out there to pretty much shut down the ramp during this little time frame that we might be requiring. So that's why the project team ended up with just moving forward with this solution of closing the ramp just for this operation, and then opening the ramp up as soon as the operation is pretty much complete. Right?
And so somebody even asked, will the ramp ever be closed consecutively? So I'm assuming if they mean for longer periods of time than what the lane closure allows, for like a couple of days or something like that.
That shouldn't, I'm gonna respond to that too. It shouldn't be needed, since milling and resurfacing operations are pretty much, we could take care of one lane at a time and then simply we open up the other lane. So it shouldn't be needed at this point, you know, based on the scope of work of this project. So we don't foresee that happening like consecutively. So we could stick to the non-peak hours time frame, but we need to shut down the ramp because of the safety component, as I said before.
Thank you, Yasser. Another question is, will access be maintained to all properties and driveways? And I can go ahead and answer that question. Access will be maintained to all properties, and most of the work is permitted at night to minimize impacts to the businesses along the corridor. In the case that work needs to be done in front of a driveway, that's something that we'll make sure to coordinate with the business prior to us even starting construction in that area. Okay, I don't think we have any more questions from the public, so I guess I'm just going to go ahead and move on. Moving on to slide 20. Contact us throughout the project. You know, questions and comments can be submitted via phone or email to us. Here's our information on the screen. We have myself, Community Outreach Specialist Rebecca Guerrero. Email is rguerrero@coordino.com. My phone number is 954-940-7605. Our project administrator is Christopher Komprosky, and his email is actually christopher.komprosky@dot.state.fl.us. And his phone number is 954-547-2807. And the construction project manager, Yasser Santos, his email is yasser.santos@dot.state.fl.us. And his number is 954-495-5259. And moving on to slide 22, this concludes the virtual public meeting for the State Road 9 I-95 northbound exit ramp to State Road 820 Hollywood Boulevard Widening Improvements Project. Thank you so much to everyone who joined us tonight. We're actually going to be hosting our in-person construction open house in 10 minutes at 6:30 out of the D4 Broward Operations Center auditorium. Again, thank you and have a wonderful evening.
Thank you, everybody. Appreciate your time. Take care.
Thank you.
Thank you.